this Constitution of India, this can be downloaded from Play Store. So when we will first download, it includes the preamble, and then parts of the Constitution, schedules, and the amendments. So basically, the in parts they are part one, part two, part three. So when we go on part three, suppose this is regarding fundamental rights. So it includes different articles of the Constitution from Article 12, 13, 14, and so on till 35. So similarly, you can go to part 4, part 4A for fundamental duties, and likewise. So this Constitution of India app will help you to read the Constitution in its original form, so that means you can read and understand what the Constitution originally meant for specific things. So these are like different 22 parts of the Constitution from part 1 to part 3, which you can see here. After that, we have schedules and amendments. So schedule are basically here different aspects of the constitutions are mentioned, which are generally not covered in its parts. Suppose schedule 11 is include the subjects assigned to the Panchayati Raj, and schedule 12 to the Panchayati Raj. So when you see, if there is a part ninth of the constitution, the panchayat. So here there are various powers and the delegations for the panchayat will be there. But what are the subjects which is included into the panchayat will be not there. So that is included in the schedules, like schedule 11. When you click there, all those things will appear. And then it comes to the amendments of the constitutions. There have been various amendments to the constitution, and this is the first amendment, second amendment. So we don't have to go to the full amendments, because and this is not much necessary to know each and every amendments, but there are few important amendments which we can cover. But the schedule is important, and each part of the constitution is important, especially the part 1. The first few parts are very important, like fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, fundamental duties, the union and the states. Then coming to the static portion, the most important book is the Lakshmi Kanta. So in this, we need to start first reading it in a very casual manner. When we will read it in a casual manner, we get a basic understanding of the things, what it meant by the polity. Previously, we have developed a basic understanding through this class 11th NCERT, which is a very basic book. But after that, even it will not make sense much if we started to read a polity from Lakshmikant in a very haphazard manner. So give a very peaceful, simple first reading, and after that start making notes. The simple notes by topic, by one. Revise it, make notes, make a small notes. Use Google as much as possible to understand the keywords, because without understanding, there will be various keywords and the technical stuffs which we need to understand. And but just reading and making the notes will not be the sufficient. But for that, we need to practice objective questions, because while we do the questions, it will be it will be easy for us to understand the wrong things which we are understanding. For that things, we can use Lakshmikant objective questions, which is at the back of the book. There are some 400 polity questions. Then we can use a Vision IAS prelims practice paper for the polity, and these two are very important. And after, apart from that, we can use previous year questions of prelims, which is published by this book we can buy. This is a good book which contain topic wise previous year questions of the prelims. So these two books will help to cover the polity portions. Anyway, we are going to cover this Indian polity one by one. But the most important thing is the contemporary affair. So for contemporary affair, what we need to do is that it is a very dynamic part, and it is the most important and essential from the men's perspective, because most of the questions will be from this portion only. So this is suppose if I see the fundamental rights, which include the right to speech, right to liberty and religion and all those things. So make these subtopics on the Evernote, like the citizenship issues, one topic, then election commission, fundamental rights, federalism, governance, issues of reservation, government, legislative, parliament, and executive, constitutional, statutory, and regulatory body. So for all these topics, we can make subtopics in the Evernote, which I will show you how it can be done. So basically, this is the uh, uh, Evernote. So suppose if I see constitutional body, so in constitutional, statutory, or regulatory body. So suppose this CBI is under Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. So this is a statutory body. So you can write anything under this CBI. Then again, if you read some newspaper or any booklets or any other materials, you can write all those stuffs in this under the respective subheadings. Suppose there is a competition commission of India, or there is some issue of rationalizing of autonomous bodies. If you read some stuff like Central Vigilance Commission, if you read some stuffs in newspaper or in any current affairs booklet, write the relevant in a very small notes, so that which you can understand under the respective subheadings. Similarly, if I see the most important but the fundamental rights, so if the anything related with gender equality, which will come under the right to equality. So section 377 regarding the transgenders and homosexuality. So this kind of things, if we read in any newspaper or any current affairs, which can be easily managed, so that at the last minute, at the time of exam, we can cover these things. Suppose this temple entry Sabrimala issue. So these things, if we read in newspaper or any current affairs booklet, can be mentioned. So there are many topics like this appears in news, like issues of uniform civil code, or the cases like criminal law need to be gender neutral. So these kind of things can be easily managed through this Evernote. And by maintaining the different subtopics for the polity specifically, if I say, there could be subtopics like citizenship issues, which can include NRC and CA and all those things which are going on. And similarly, like if there is a federalism, which could include the role of lieutenant governor in Puducherry or the Delhi center tussle, which have been asked two times in exam, or the what are the fiscal federalism. So these things, like under the different subheadings, which we can beautifully manage through this Evernote, and which is easy to revise during the exam time. So this is regarding this how to cover this contemporary affairs. So you should make your own notes, you should make your own subtopics. It is not wise for me to share my notes, because it is quite outdated, and it is also has been prepared according to my convenience. Basically, it is better to make your own notes, so that it will be really handy for you to prepare from it or revise from it at the time of exam. Then what the all sources which you can use for this contemporary affairs? First is the newspaper, the Hindu. If you read some newspaper from Hindu, and if you find it useful, write those notes under the respective subheadings, so that all the things will be in a synchronous and really organized in a better way. The other best source is the Vision IAS Men's 365. They mostly cover each and every aspects from the last contemporary affairs. So there may be confusion that for men's, suppose I'm talking about men's 2020. So there may be confusion that Vision will release this 2020 men's in July after prelims. So there will be not sufficient time to cover those thick book just before the exam. So what we can do is that if you are planning to give exam for men's 2020, take Vision IAS Men's 365 2019 booklet from their websites, because most of the contemporary affairs remain in continue to be in news for more than 1 year. So if for 2020, if you are giving the exam, you can easily cover all those other topics which are newly added, or if there is some revision in the past topic. So this I have basically done, and it was really helpful, because it will not create pressure at the exactly at the time of exam. And other best thing to update your notes is this Vision IS monthly current affairs booklet. This is also the current affairs booklet per month, but sometimes it becomes cumbersome to follow these booklets every month. But following the newspaper, the Hindu, and means 365 is enough. But if you are able to follow this monthly current affairs booklet also, so then that will always be very beneficial. Then after coming to this part 2 governance part, so part 2 governance part, basically I have the first three topics which I will say, the government policy and intervention for development in various sectors. These topics, what they mean and what are those, I have already covered. So for these topics, there are booklets by Vision IAS, which has been basically prepared from ARC and other government websites. So those topics are prepared in a, those topics are basically well organized at one places which we can cover. But after that, for the topics like health, education and poverty and hunger, these three topics, I will say, means the vision vision note booklet is not sufficient or not betterly prepared. So for that thing, what I have done is that, likewise I explained that for contemporary affairs, this topics, these subtopics I have made. So I have prepared this Evernote subtopics, and I have added whatever comes in news or wherever I will read something regarding to health or education or poverty. I kept on adding that, and now I think it has sufficient material, so that these three topics, poverty, health and education, I can share, which can be maybe beneficial. Again, for these two topics, important aspect of governance, transparency and accountability, and this role of civil services. This for this important aspect of governance, transparency, there is a ARC report on that. But I think vision booklet will be sufficient in this case, because basically it is prepared from that ARC only. After that, for international relation, so to summarize, for topic number 1, 2, 3, 6 and 7, you can cover it from the Vision IAS booklets. And topic number 4 and 5, I will share the notes on poverty and hunger, health and education. And then coming to the last part of this resources, international relations. So for international relation, actually there is no book which will help you to get to write a better answer in a exam, because books are generally written 4 or 5 years back or something. Or if there is a new recent books, means I have not any reviewed any recent books. So for this, what I have done for the newspaper is that, again the same approach, I have prepared on the Evernote these subtopics like different countries, Africa, Latin America, Canada, USA, especially the important countries like USA, China, Pakistan, Russia, all those topics. And and start adding on your Evernote from different materials which you follow. The most important source for that portion is what I will say is the Hindu and Vision IAS Means 365. These are the two most important source. Even apart from these two sources, if you find any other source or whatever came, whatever find when you read something, and if you find it interesting, just mention it under this your subheading, because just reading will not help you anything, because you will not be able to remember the things at the time of exam. So if it will be in your notes, you can easily revise it at the time of exam. So whatever you will read, it should be beneficial for the exam. So if it will be in your notes, you can then revise it in a better manner. Okay, so I think it has covered all the sources. Okay, bye.